my name's Joanna Hoyes, I'm from FHP Living, and we're here today with 8 members of the FHP Living team to celebrate their 2018 promotions. Hello everybody, thank you very much for joining us today, really appreciate it. First of all, huge congratulations on your promotions. If we can start off by introducing ourselves and saying which sector you currently work in.
I'm Carol, I'm the office manager for Shakespeare Street, the student office, and Weekday Cross, and I've just recently been made associate director.
My name's Luke, I'm Head of Lettings and Property Management and now Director.
My name's Jonty, I head up the Student Living Office and I'm also Associate Director.
Hi, I'm Jason, I head up sales, I'm also a Director at the company and love my job.
My name's Ian, I work out of the West Bridgford office and I've recently been made a Director.
That's great, thank you very much. We must also mention that Cheryl Grundy and Jules Hunt, our Associate Directors also, and Steve Parker is Director. Carol, let's start with you. You've been Office Manager at FHP Living for 6 years now. What would you say the best part of your job is?
Working with my colleagues, meeting new people all the time, helping clients get the properties they need, especially if they've got problems, they normally come to me.
Luke, you've worked for FHP Living for 10 years now.
Yep.
What would your advice be to people who are starting their career in the property industry?
There are a lot of agents out there, they're not all the same. My advice to someone starting in the industry would be to do their research. If you're starting a career, you want to make sure that it's with the right company, someone that's going to offer support, training, potentially qualification, just so you can be the best you can be.
Carol, you said that you work with Weekday Cross and Shakespeare Street. Shakespeare Street is the office that you opened last year, Jonty, which is dedicated to student lettings and sales. How would you say your first year's gone?
It's been a great success. We've had 3 years of growth at the Weekday Cross office, and we've grown out of the office now. We've now got a really well located office, almost on campus. The footfall we're getting from students is absolutely fantastic. So there's been a noticeable difference this year in letting properties a lot quicker and selling more properties based on the location, gaining new instructions as a result of being on the same street as at least 2 or 3 other agents.
And you say footfall's good. Do you get a lot of students coming in, or is it mainly your landlords?
Mainly students.
Ian and Jason, you've been in the property industry for 55 years plus combined now. This is amazing. How would you say that the market has fluctuated in the last few years?
Personally, I would say Brexit has been a real changer in a positive way. Personally, from my point of view, I deal with the Park Estate. It's quite an affluent area in the city, but since Brexit, there's been more people coming into the marketplace and looking, and I'm thinking, well, why is that? And I think most of it is because interest rates have been kept low. People are thinking, well, if interest rates are low, it's going to be lower for longer, so why not dive in the market now? Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking last year was probably the Park's best ever year, and tremendous. So bring it on in my view. I didn't vote personally to stay. I voted for us to stay, not to go out. But I think now at the moment, I don't think it's had any effect. At my viewpoint, if you're looking out there to buy, because the market's only going one way, and that's up.
And Ian, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the last 2 years has been very progressive. Prices have continued to rise. And I was reading a recent report by Rightmove saying that the East Midlands has outperformed all other sectors of the country. And we've seen that in West Bridgford and surrounding. That last year, yes, we have gone through the Brexit vote. We have had a bit of a political nosebleed, if you want to call it that, with 2 years running of 2 major elections. But I think it's a question of people just want to get on with their lives. And if you look, one of the biggest questions I get asked on a market appraisal is, when's the best time to sell? Everyone seems to have this concept that spring is the best time, which the gardens look lovely. But my answer to that is literally, when you're starting to think about moving, just get on and do it. Don't hold back.
Absolutely.
The best time is when your competition is at its least, i.e. if you've got a 4-bedroom detached home, it's probably going to be worth £400,000. Mm-hmm. If there's nothing else on the market, or there's 2 or 3, then get it on straight away. So again, don't hold back, just get on and do. Don't put your life on hold for whatever's around the corner, because we don't know what's around the corner.
At the moment, January, you're right, January is a predominantly quiet month, but certainly we've hit the ground running this year. and there's been plenty of people out there wanting to find somewhere. The problem we've got is this lack of stock.
Yeah.
So the more people put them on now, they're going to get their houses sold quicker because there's very little out there.
Yeah.
And my viewpoint is that, like I said to you before, prices are, there's pressure on the prices, and because interest are staying low for longer, like I said to you before, it's an unusual scenario. People are thinking, well, I can go and probably borrow a little bit more money, and my mortgage payments are actually quite low. And if I can get a 5-year fix for a certain rate, and it's still, tremendous compared to what it was 5, 6, 7 years ago, then they're going out there buying bigger, better, and it's freeing up the first-time buyers to come into the market. Lenders are opening up the books to say, well, we'll lend more money, or we'll lend greater times income. And the market is fabulous. So please, go out there and buy, because I think you'll regret it if you don't.
That's very good news, fantastic. Yeah. Okay, there are quite a few changes that we need to be aware of in the next year or so, mainly energy performance certificate, new rules are coming in this year, and we have the ban on letting fees to consider as well. Luke, could you elaborate on the changes this year and what people should be aware of?
Yeah, 2 of multiple changes coming in there. The EPC energy performance certificate, in a nutshell, landlords will not be able to rent a property from the 1st of April if your EPC rating is an F or a G. So there's a little bit of work to be done there. And when I say let the property, that's all new tenancies. So that might mean your tenant wants to renew, or if they go into a statutory periodic, that's going to count as new tenancy.
So what will that mean, Luke? So if someone's got an F or a G, they've got to put their house in order?
They're going to have to make some significant improvements. My advice, first and foremost, read your EPC. Quite often the assessors put some advice on there. If your EPC was done a while back, it's probably best to get a new one. They're constantly revising the rules, the most recent one being that the brick walls are now more insular than they used to believe they were. So,
solid brick.
Solid brick walls, yeah. So if you've got an old EPC and you are on the cusp of an F, get a new one. It's perfect time to get some advice as well.
We give the advice when we're putting a house on the market, because I believe the energy performance certificates last for 10 years.
Yeah.
But in that time period, someone might have had a new boiler put in, and rather than saving, I don't know, £30–40 on an EPC, they've got a new boiler.
Yeah.
Have a new one done, because it'll absolutely, light bulbs,
installation, that's
the big one. Yeah. And landlords aren't safe either if you've got a sitting tenant that's been there quite a few years, because from the 1st of April 2020 it's
so if you've got a tenant that's been there for more than 3 or 4 years, you've still got a name
from 2020.
So if you need to bring it up, then that's going to be quite expensive to the landlord.
Start looking at it now.
And the landlord, what happens to the landlord then if they find they don't want to do it, or they don't decide to change their ways?
They don't have any choice, basically.
Yeah.
This is going to be enforced by the local authority.
Right. Okay. And police quite heavily, I take it.
You would have thought so. Yeah.
We've got a landlord at the moment, haven't we, John D, that's going to have to do an awful lot of work.
Really?
At one of the student properties.
Okay.
And he's not going to have any choice.
Warning to all them.
There's help out there. It's not all bleak. The Green Deal's back. Look into this properly, or landlords are welcome to give me a call. There are lots of help. There's lots you can be doing. But also in certain situations there's exemptions as well.
Okay, and if we can go back to the ban on letting fees, is there any information that's public about that, or any more knowledge you have on this at the moment?
It's been going on for quite a while, hasn't it? First mentioned in the autumn statement 2016.
Yeah.
Autumn 2017 it became a draft bill. We're now in a position where it needs to be approved by the House of Commons and the House of Lords, so probably 12 months away.
Okay.
Perhaps spring next year.
So people need to be aware of that sort of start of next year then?
Yeah.
If not slightly before. Dependent on what happens, of course.
Let's start gearing up. Let's not just sit here and wait.
Okay, John, talking about lettings, obviously, purpose-built student accommodation is on the rise.
Yes.
Have we got any projects in the pipeline in Nottingham 2018?
At FHP Living, we've got 2 buildings that are going to be coming on for September 2018. We've got a 28-bed site on Listergate, which is going to be exclusively studios with a shared common room on the upper floors. We're going to have great features inside, and just really emphasising what's best about these student buildings and having a beautiful big shared environment. We've also got another site on Lower Parliament Street, which is another 20 beds, which again, fully will be as studios. The interesting thing as well is that not just for 2018, we're getting planning consents, we're being asked for advice regularly from multiple investors who are looking across the city centre in various schemes. We've got 220 beds on the west entrance of Uni of Nottingham and Beeston. We've got another 40 odd beds on in the city centre, and I'm constantly giving advice to lots of landlords who are comparing whether to go with office conversions, whether to try and improve to grade A offices, whether to have a residential scheme, or whether to go on the student market. All three options are offering really good exit strategies for investors at the moment, so it's really interesting to see where this goes.
The student market seems to be just getting stronger and stronger.
At the moment, absolutely. Comparatively to offices and residential, we offer a higher gross rent per square foot. We're typically around about £22 to £23 per square foot on your developments, whereas offices are around about 18 to 20, residential between 15 and 17 per square foot. So we're offering a very, very competitive exit plan for investors at the moment, and it's really interesting to see the next USP, the next innovative idea as to what landlords are looking for.
Okay, brilliant. FHP Living is a unique agency in that all agents are area specific. It gives the client the knowledge that you're all experts in your particular area. Ian, you are in charge of the expansion into West Bridgford. What are your plans for 2018?
As you say, expand. I think, and there's some great new developments coming on stream, as well as what we've got now. I've worked in West Bridgford now. I'm in my 20th year, so I believe I'm the longest serving practicing estate agent in West Bridgford, which I'm proud of, and I enjoy, born and bred. But we've got some brilliant new developments that are taking place. We've got the old nursing home conversion that's been renovated and put back into residential homes, 4 big semi-detached homes. That's on Melton Road. The banners have been up there for probably 2 or 3 months now, and they should be coming live back end of this month, February.
Lovely.
They look brilliant.
And they will. I mean, it's great to put back residential homes for families. I mean, they're going to be in the region between 3,500 and 4,000 square feet.
Okay.
So something really exciting there. We've got some other new builds that's are taking place on Melton Road. We had the open house the other evening at the old Grosvenor School site.
And that went well?
Which is brilliant. And there's some good interest that's been generated from that. And we've got 6 more bigger ones coming available, certainly probably back end of this year. But it's not just dealing with the top end of the market, which sometimes we can be seen as that's all we deal with. I want everything. Whether that's a mobile home, we'll deal with anything from 80,000 upwards.
That's really good for people to know.
And we just want the whole cross section. We want more of the terrace homes on your Clumber Road, your Portland Roads. And as I say, we just want the whole spectrum, and that's what we're for. We're experts in every department, whether that's we get an inquiry, someone wants to sell a property in West Bridgford but wants to buy a property in the park, the cross-fertilisation, if you want to call it, of buyers and applicants. We just want to give the best possible service to anybody.
And that leads nicely on to the park. Jason, you are known as Mr. Park.
Do a long time.
Know the place like the back of your hand. What can vendors do to ensure that their property garners interest? Are there any tips and tricks you can
I think offer? people always say, put some bread in the oven. Get fresh linen on your bed and put some flowers out there. I bring someone up 6 hours before and say, right, Mr. Smith, I've got a cracking viewing for you, I need to bring them round straight away. They haven't got time to go and bake some bread or
who does?
Buy some flowers or want to even do that. I just say, look, keep a clean space in the kitchen. Make sure the kitchen has all utensils, pots and pans to put away. Make sure that the dining table's been changed, or if you really want to do something, you've got time, fine. Just make sure it's more minimalist in there. Let's not have, photographs are fabulous and we all love our family dearly and partners, etc. But let's not try and make it too personal in the house, because people are thinking what they're going to put in there. property, how they're going to live in that property, and they want to see themselves sitting there. So all I can say to people is make sure that you try and take the personal aspect away and leave the house as it should be, which is open for everyone. I've been dealing with the park for 22 years now, and I live there as well. So I love the place. My friends say I'm going to nosebleed if I leave the park, but it's true. I do love it so much. I'm passionate about it, and we have a lot of. There's a lot of camaraderie between us all in FHP. We set this business up to specialise. We wanted to have the park, Mapley Park, the city, West Bridgford, so we know what we're talking about. There's some very good agents out there, don't get me wrong, but one thing they don't do is specialise, in my view. We get out there, we know what we're talking about, we know our competition backwards, we know our properties backwards, we know the people that are looking to buy those properties. So of course, we are the market leaders in those areas by far, but the reason why is because we're passionate, and we know our locations, we know our people, we know our properties. We are the best agent for that reason. And in that case, we're the agent of choice.
We've also got Mapley Park, Woollerton, Bramcote and Beeston as well, we've gone into in the last year or so. How are those agents getting on in those areas, would you say? Again,
Mapley Park, Lee, has come on leaps and bounds. I mean, there are other agents in Mapley Park, but we are still the leading agent. We've got over a 30% market share in that area, which is fantastic. We've got a great market share in Bridgford, as we know. Woollerton, Bramcote is in its infancy, but certainly we're doing a lot to improve that and bring that on, and we will get to be, certainly one of the leaders there in the next couple of years. I mean, the park market share has been 70% in the last, 10, 12 years since FHP launched it. So my viewpoint is we want to be the dominant sector, but it takes time. It's not an easy go. I mean, we are a company that are very proud of where we are. We're very proud of who we work for. We're very well looked after in this company, and we are a very happy team, and that's important. So from my point of view, it's just a matter of building and building and building and getting us out there more and more and more. The more boards we have, the more people will know us, the more advertising we do, the more talking to people we do, the more advice we can give. FHP needs to be out there. We will be. It's fantastic. Love the place.
Well, talking about being more out there, Carol, where can we see more news about FHP Living?
Well, we use most of the social medias. We use Twitter, Facebook, everything else that you can find for us. Get us out there. It's really important to be seen. Our ratings are coming up since we've had a push and a drive on this. And like Jason says, we're a very happy team, aren't we? Yeah. We don't have a high turnover of staff, so that keeps us out there, and we're the face of FHP.
We are indeed.
We actually had a group of students this year that there were 3 agents marketing the same property. They chose to go with us purely on our Google rating.
Wow, really?
So without even having to talk to them, without even doing the viewing, they came to us and said, we only want to rent it through you. And that was purely based on our Google rating.
So it's down to happy clients?
Happy clients writing a Google review.
That's great to see. It really is. I mean, obviously doing really well, so it's brilliant. Well done.
I mean, a lot of our landlords like it, that it's always the same people there.
That's very important, isn't it? Continuity.
They know Luke and I have been there years and that they can get hold of us, and a lot of the team hasn't changed. Like you say, Jay, you've been in the office for an age, and Ian, you're so well known in West Bridgford now,
and that's coming through, as we've touched on some of the developments. We've got the Civic Centre, which is doing fantastic. So obviously being Ruskin Burke House, been there for ages, and I remember that when that was Bridgford Hotel.
My father actually lived in there. He had a penthouse on top of that.
Wow.
Yes.
So again, I'm showing my age, but it's a long time since it was the Bridgford Hotel, and there was a lot of talk, is it going to become a hotel again? But no, that's going to be made into, again, some phenomenal apartments.
There's some really exciting things coming up this year, 2019 as well.
Basin. I don't deal with all that, but my colleague Steve does. So again, it's some seriously exciting times coming, not just for FHP, but for West Bridgford, for Nottingham in general. It's about, we've woken up that river living is something that people want.
Yeah.
The city was where it was founded originally, going back many, many years ago, where it was FHP City Living, and it was purely based on focusing on new developments and new properties around the city. And I think that's just grown and grown. And don't get me wrong, the city centre, we go onto our stats and we look at, not we've given the stats, this is a Rightmove stats, and you want to see the table. You know, we are a dominant player out of everyone. And the city centre now is becoming a vibrant place to live, and the prices have certainly gone up quite a bit in the city in the last 2-3 years. My view is that I think that will continue to grow because people want to be in the city. A lot of people from outside Nottingham, a lot of foreign people coming into the area are loving the fact that it's city because they're thinking London City. You know, if you're in a foreign area, Hong Kong City, you know, they're thinking Nottingham City.
City Living is a big brand,
it's a massive
now,
brand. And there's lots of new developments coming in the city, which, you know, one of our colleagues is Joe Hopkins is dealing with, and to be fair, they are, you know, they're knocking out the park. They're selling and selling and selling and selling. They're getting people buying 2, 3, 4 units. It's fantastic. And the thing is, we're getting more developments, you know, and more developments, and hopefully we'll be getting another 40 or 50 units coming soon. And we need more. We need more stock.
And then, of course, when that stock's been sold, then it can go over to lettings, hopefully.
Yeah,
and
lettings as well.
Exactly.
It's
all a nice
big
big
happy
team.
family. Yeah, happy family, which is
absolutely.
fantastic.
But I think that's the key thing within our company. We are a happy
Work
family.
together.
We work together. We have our niggles, as everywhere does, but we basically work together as a team.
Well, people socialise, we kind of get, and it has to be a family. When you're working, there's been so many companies in the past where, particularly maybe I've worked, and everyone's niggling about this or niggling about that and not getting on, and it's not good, you know, because when people aren't happy, I mean, there's how many companies, I mean, to be fair, how many people actually want to work for FHP? Quite a few. I'm not saying that because I'm on camera, but it's true. There are a lot of people out there that will come to us and say, any job's going to let me know. These are from other large companies or corporates that they want to get out of that corporate ideal and then come over to a happier team where they can enjoy themselves. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you clobbered me, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
16 and a half years at a large corporate. The call came in, and I thought,
we wanted him because
I'm
he was
not quite
doing
ready.
good.
Not quite ready,
Yeah.
but then sometimes you think, you know, this is the stage of my life that I want to do something. I want to have a part of it. And I suppose I've been here 3.5 years now, and to join these guys as a directors, associate directors, it's great.
Well, on that note, if anybody does want to join the team or have any more questions or want to find out any more about the upcoming events of 2018 for FHP Living, please visit the website www.fhpliving.co.uk, and if you want to give us a call, arrange a viewing, talk to any members of staff, please call the number on the screen below. Thank you very, very much, everybody, for joining us today. It's been a really good chat, and the best of luck for the rest of the year. Thank you.
Thanks again.